we keep forgetting the man has lupus, right? So at the end of the day, a lot of his decisions are about what is a very immediate timestamp on, I think, with his life.
Nick Cannon, he just had his 10th kid. Thoughts on that?
You know, anytime I make commentary about Black men, it is always going to be come from a place of I'm bitter, I'm jealous, I ain't got no man, who am I to speak? I ain't got no kids, who am I to speak? I don't have any children.
Do you want kids?
I would love kids. If I'm not able to have them naturally, I would love to adopt children.
Okay.
I grew up in a home that had foster children. Like, I'm all about children. I also am somebody who followed my career. So I ain't got time to be having babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you act like I can't have babies. I've had plenty of plan B. I'm just, will I have children by the time I'm able to really have children? Who knows? That's only in God's hands. Me not having a man is self-preservation for myself and my sanity. I haven't found a man that I felt comfortable with, that I could stay with, right? People break up. I mean, so when it's things that are out of your control and people speak on those things, what they're going to make, their commentary. So anything that I say is going to get misconstrued. Yeah. My initial conversation about Nick Cannon had always been with me, with Wildin' Out. I thought they would focus a lot on putting certain types of girls on instead of necessarily putting funny forward girls, right? You had to be somewhat funny and you had to be hot. And there was a lot of women that I thought in comedy that could be on Wildin' Out. They too old for them, they too big for them, they not the hottest, whatever, they ain't this. So that was always my gripe, like, open that space up because it's a great show and it elevates a lot of people. And Nick Cannon is a star. You cannot deny him on that. Then he started to show this sort of like guru-y African bean pie, I'm going to get you sucker, dirty mother. And I was like, oh, this is like, he's like the Houdini of blacks now. And maybe I can listen to him. Then he was talking about getting the bones of Dr. Sebi and, putting in him some cider. I don't know. Then I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of listen. And then all of a sudden, his mission was very much against whatever he was promoting. And I think sometimes that's also a commentary that I've always made. It's not just Nick Cannon, where you have sort of these Black men who have this sort of like Afrocentric dynamic about them, but their partnership is never with Black women or Black women that you don't have to go, is her mama Black? You know what I mean? Her daddy Black? So then I was like, oh, well, he's just on some nonsense, right? And so then I started tuning him out. And I go, we can only just like laugh with Nick Cannon and whatever he got going on. Then it became this he became this representation of Black men and family structure. And when I started talking about it, it became, oh, you hate on Nick Cannon, you with Nick Cannon. I couldn't understand why Black men didn't understand how much I was rallying for y'all. Is this how y'all want to be represented? Money or no money? This guy is, let's not make this a thing.
And he's doing it wrong because there's so many women involved. Is that kind of, because you can have, back in the day, they had a lot of kids.
Right. And let me tell you something. Black men love to time travel whenever it benefits them. Okay? So now we going back in the day to say how many cats Cat had, but now we can't stay in the future because women is too aggressive. Like, it's like, what, sir, are we with the Flintstones or the Jetsons? Okay. I can't.
Do we hold Eddie Murphy accountable?
Listen.
Is that different?
Listen, can we talk about Nicole, how she had all the babies and still look fabulous? Okay? Because I had 0 babies and honey, I'm talking about stomach stapling tomorrow. I think also Eddie Murphy, there was a dynamic there. He was and here's why I'm talking about the imaging of Nick Cannon. I don't want to shit on Nick Cannon. My commentary about him not having, certain women and stuff on his thing is a professional one, not a personal one on him. He's made me laugh. I've watched his movie. I think he's funny. To me, some of the stuff he got going on, it don't make no sense. I also think we keep forgetting the man has lupus. Right? So at the end of the day, a lot of his decisions are about what is a very immediate timestamp on, I think, with his life, his legacy. I think there's a lot of confusion around that. But let's leave that with Nick Cannon. Let's not make this what Black men get to go around and have. Not when we have a high rate of single mothers in our community. That, again, that's another thing we blame it. Oh, because, Black men, can't stay with the women because the women. And it's like, well, how you mean to tell me it's all Black women that you brothers don't want to be a part of your children's lives? Because, there's a court system that can help you deviate up the time and, But then there's accountability in that. So I understand to just leave is easier. But I'm not with the Nick Cannon. I'm not with what he's doing. And Future and all these other dudes. Sort of like when you leave, and these women can save face all they want and go keep my name with one of the ones like keep my name out of the mouth and you don't speak on he not my sugar daddy. Well, I mean, I hope at the very least when you decided to have a child with the man, his financial portfolio played in consideration at some point, because bringing a child into this world is not inexpensive. And especially we talking about Nick Cannon, who is a man who is on a certain level. So his children have to be at that certain level too, just for their safety. They have to grow, they have to go to certain schools. They need to be in certain environments. They're already going to be in those environments when they're with him. Right. So you need to be in that environment too as a mother, even if he's not living with you, because the child shouldn't be stepping up and stepping down according to.
So we holding the women accountable too.
Absolutely. Absolutely holding a woman accountable. But see, when I say that, then we also lose focus of like, well, nobody's saying nothing about the women. Oh, I am saying something about the women. But then when I say something about the women, then you're telling me I'm hating on the women because I'm jealous because I'm fat and unattractive. So what? I can't. So I'm just not. I will just hold up an SOS sign.
Yeah.
I have commentary in this world. You guys better be glad I'm out here.